This is not just a, like... Yes, Laz, we love to watch you. Are you eating your yogurt on camera, Laz? Good guess on my part. Woo-hoo! Good morning, Jelly. Where is everybody this morning? Someone's rolling in a little late. I feel like people are having a hard time getting in. I'm admitting people, but it's taking them forever to join. Good morning, Cam. Good morning, Zev. Good morning, Nick. Good morning, Michael. All right. All right. Thanks for letting me know, Cam. Matt, Cam's camera doesn't work. Okay. Here's my joke. What key has legs and can't open a door? What key has legs and can't open a door? Don't be cheaters and look at, no, Matt, you're wrong. I mean, like, you're kind of right, but you're wrong, Matt. Joey, that doesn't, I'm a little concerned about some of you. Yes, Ben. Yes, Lee. Everyone else is wrong. Joey, butt key. What's a butt key? Your butt.
See, that's not what I said, though. I said key lime pie, and then it was wrong. I said no,
Yeah, no,
but
no,
key.
no.
How am I? I don't think that's a question anybody should be asking the seniors. If you are not expecting a honest or truthful answer, senioritis is kicking in. It is definitely overtaking my life, but we're going through it.
How am I? I am stressed, a little anxious. I am happy about the results of the election, but am also very worried about how Trump and his supporters are going to respond. I'm also stressed about applying for colleges and scholarships and that whole process. It is pretty tough.
I'm doing good. Not really, actually. I mean, I'm okay. I'm overwhelmed with schoolwork. C&M is pretty tough. School's pretty tough. College applications are pretty tough. COVID's pretty tough. Everything is tough. I got kicked out of therapy because I got in a fight with my therapist because she said I should try yoga. And I told her that I don't like yoga. And she also told me that I have seasonal depression, apparently, and that I should have a vitamin D lamp, which is fine. Actually, it's all fine. I just got in a fight with her, and then they kicked me out of therapy. But other than that, I'm doing great.
I'm doing just fine today. Thank you very much. A wonderful morning. Got up, had some breakfast, had a lovely little chat with the voices under the bed. It was lovely.
I'm doing pretty good. I mean, I've always been doing pretty good is the thing. So, yeah, I think things are continuing to go about as well as they've done before. And overall, that's like a pretty high amount of good.
What's up? Okay. How y'all doing? I'm doing great. How am I doing? Okay. I'm actually good. That sounds so crazy. But I'm happy. Like, genuinely, I'm, like, content with my life. I mean, I haven't started any of my college applications yet, and there's way too much math in my life for me to, like, fully be happy. But other than that, I'm, like, good. Yeah.
There are ways in which I am doing really well, really good, happy, and then there are other ways and other days where that's not so much the case.
Thumbs up, double thumbs up.
Real talk,
Hell
how
yeah.
are you?
Oh, terrible.
Okay. How am I? I am not doing the best. I won't lie. Things have started to get a little bit difficult. I think that I have a pattern in which this is the time of year where I start thinking I can't do any of this. But now, not only can I not do any of this, but I'm locked in my house. And usually I'm able to go to school and be like, hi, hey, did you guys do that assignment? And everybody's like, no. And then I feel better about it, even though that's not good and you should do your assignments. But I don't have that anymore because we're not going to school. So now I'm just at home and going, wow, I am falling behind in school and I can't do anything. And also my brain doesn't work. And also I am not taking care of myself as well as I should be. It's getting hard.
For me, personally, it has to do with school. I am an overachiever, a self-proclaimed overachiever, and one of my biggest downfalls has always been setting too big expectations for myself. I am the type of person who wants to take on every problem in the world. I will put it on my shoulders and try to fix it. That is not sustainable. It is not something that I, as a single human being, a high school student in Albuquerque, New Mexico, no less, is capable of doing.
School.
A lot of that is stress with like college stuff, cause that's a lot, you know. Just kind of realizing I'm a senior. We have so many weeks until winter break, and we need to start sending in applications to different colleges, and I'm excited, but I don't know, it's just kind of stressful.
I don't know. I mean, online school isn't great, but it's better than in-person school at times. Having all the free time to be really bored and being alone with my parents isn't great, but it's also nice. So everything's fine. So I don't know how I really feel about things. They're normal. Things are normal.
All right, you guys. Sorry, I'm still trying to take some attendance here. Okay, that was. So Nora, that hurts my feelings. Nora said that was worse than all the other ones.
Sonora's kind of cold-blooded. She looks sweet and everything, but man, sometimes she.
I really feel like I need to connect her and my niece. They like those weird science jokes that everyone else goes, what? That's not even funny, but they laugh real hard at them. Like, I'm real concerned about that. Okay, so let me share with you. Okay. Boop, boop. She is, Daniel. I agree.
Advice I would give to my past few things, but they all kind of go together. First would be things get better, and in high school too, things get better. So don't be afraid to be yourself. Yeah, I think that's the advice I would give.
If there was one thing that I could tell my middle school self, it would be this. You're still going to have friends even after you leave.
Yeah, honestly, like, don't care about school so much. Because I was one of those kids who was like, oh yeah, I get straight A's and stuff. And it's like, middle school doesn't matter. I should have just been, like, not doing any schoolwork at all. Like, not cared. Just, like, live my best life. Because it really doesn't matter. And, like, just have fun and do whatever I want. And, like, honestly, I know back then I would be so disappointed in who I am now. But I'm having, like, so much fun. You know what I mean?
Do I have any advice or anything to say to middle school me? I think the first thing would be that it's really important to tough these moments out. Because in middle school, I was a whole lot more ignorant. Not ignorant necessarily, I just didn't know. I didn't know a lot, and I hadn't experienced a lot. But now we're at a point where this kind of surprised me for the last couple of years. But it's important to keep in mind that you are the most important person, and you have to put yourself first for the majority of the time. There are moments where I think that you might want to take other people and say, you know what, I can put myself on the back burner. But if you aren't feeling okay, then there's not a whole lot that you can do for other people. And I know that that's out of your control sometimes. And that really sucks because it feels awful to be out of control of yourself. But you have to do what you can to be able to help yourself. And that might seem really impossible in some moments. And it's going to get a whole lot harder than it is right now. Even though this feels it's going to get worse. But there is a time when it gets better. And it's going to get better. And there still might be some days and some weeks and some months where it still sucks. But I can't say that. But there's a whole lot more to all of this than just turning in assignments and trying to stay on top of schoolwork.
Just whatever you're doing right now, stop. Don't do it anymore. Just stop. It wasn't a good idea, whatever it is. Please, be responsible. And, hell yeah.
You should, like, go out more often. You, like, never went outside or hang out with your friends enough, and when you're in high school, you're not going to be able to pull off that so much. So, yeah, you should, like, ditch class at least once, because you've never ditched class before, and if you, like, live your entire life without ever having ditched class, you're going to feel like you haven't lived at all. So, go ditch class.
Do you have a message for future you?
I really hope that you took my advice for past me and that you've lived a little bit, because if in the future I find myself feeling that I haven't lived at all, it's going to be a real big bummer. So I hope you went and did something cool.
I have a very simple message for my future self. Prepare for unforeseen consequences.
Well, I hope you're rich. I hope you've been married like 3 times. I hope you're like eating good. I hope you're like living in New York or something. I hope your like sense of style is still super awesome. I hope, yeah, just like tell me how you are. Hopefully you're living your best life. Hopefully you're like, yeah, you're happy, you're doing your stuff, you know. Let me know. Don't be depressed.
I mean, I hope you passed high school. If you didn't, you're stupid, man. Like, come on. I hope you're making money and like you're not starving. And like, yeah, man.
So, we wrote this bell ringer in Michelle's class last year as a letter to our future selves, and I wanted to read this. It was from April 9th, 2020, so it was the end of our junior year-ish. Dear future Catherine, a year from today, you're a senior. You're hopefully ready to graduate and admitted to college somewhere that you're happy about. This COVID-19 stuff is getting in the way right now, pretty majorly, and I hope it didn't have too much of a resounding impact on senior year and even past then. You still get senior prom. Probably not. Don't forget that, and at least you get to walk. Also, probably not. It's fine. I hope you've got everything lined up and you're happy with all of your decisions. During all of this time at home, I hope you learned better ways to motivate yourself and keep yourself out of your head when there aren't other outside distractions. I know that's something I'm working on right now. I hope you learned not to rely on others so heavily because that really isn't always an option. You're a bad bitch. Don't forget it. Hopefully, you learn how not to be bored, or at least how to handle it when you are. This can have positives, too. And as much as it sucks, I really hope you see those. Preparing for the rest of your life while completely isolated is hard, yes, but you're stronger at the end of it, I'm sure of it. Don't let boys get you down. You're better than them anyway. Wife material, remember? You really are, you beautiful soul. And hey, happy 18th birthday. You made it. And it was not easy, I know. I'm proud of you, I really am. You can do this. Don't think any less of yourself.
Advice that I would give my future self would be, don't forget what you want to do and why, and don't lose that passion for the things that matter, even if it gets tough sometimes, which it will.
Actually, future me, if you can time travel right now, like come right now, like we'll give you 5 seconds. So you'll pop up on that bed. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I guess there's no time travel. Well, I do have a diary, and I actually write it to like my future self and to my grandkids because I want my grandkids to read it and be like, "Damn, she was a bad biddy." You know what I'm saying? So that's that. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. So you guys, I'm an advisor, and I don't have any. I have one senior, and I've just been worried about my students, and I particularly worry about you guys as seniors. And I wanted to, after talking to Matt, just try to just let you know that we are here for you, and we also want to see you make it through this year. So I've got this little slideshow I put together for you, just with some thoughts. Hold on just a second. And I just kind of made this so I would kind of feel a little more organized, but it's nothing fancy here. Hold on. Okay. So, so the bottom line is, like, we really care about you. We're worried about you. We want to see you succeed. And this is a little bit of like a pep talk presentation, and also a little bit of offer you a hand of support and a little bit of a kick in the pants too to try to get through this year.
There's general anxiety about what is going on, what is to come in the future, or even with the elections. That was a big thing, and I think it took a very substantial toll on us mentally. I want to remind all of you that, first of all, it is okay not to be okay. the first step in getting through things is acknowledging that they are there. It is completely fine to be struggling, even if it doesn't have anything to do with the big reasons, let's call them, like the pandemic, the elections, or school. If it's something, even if it's something small that has really impacted you and that you can't get your mind off of it, it's okay to be hurting, it's okay to grieve, and it's okay to give yourself the time that you need to get through it.
I have two things to say right now that I think people need to hear in general, but so the first is be nice to yourself, and what I mean by that is if you're someone that's kind of overly judgmental of yourself, you know, you don't like this, you don't like this, you hate this, and you're always comparing yourself, or just anything like that, right? If you don't have good confidence, you don't believe in yourself or whatever, just like, I don't know, like just think about some of your closest friends, right? And that you would never treat them that way, right? You would never do all these things that you might do yourself. And so just treat yourself like you would treat your friends, you know, like be nice to yourself.
What are some things that I think people need to hear every once in a while? I think that the things that give me the most boost of like, okay, I'm okay, are I'm really proud of you, and I think that honestly sometimes as much as the positives help, the kind of slap from people who you look up to are also very important. So hearing somebody tell you that you need to get your act together, that's really important. God, I don't know. My brain is all scrambled right now.
That's a hard question. A lot of the things that I think people should hear, people either don't want to hear or they kind of already know. Like, everyone around you is a real person, and you have to realize that and you have to remember it. But also, sometimes I feel like I'm the only real person in the world and everyone else is like a cardboard cutout with a hamster on a wheel in their brain. So I don't even know if I can take my own advice.
If someone were to ask me for mental advice, I would give them this simple little trick. Go and bake something. Anything. Cookies, biscuits, a cake. It doesn't matter. It always helps. Just do it. Even if it doesn't help, then you'll still have something to eat later on, which will always make you feel better.
Other thing is don't give up. And I know it's hard a lot of times with, well, a lot of things. Life in general has its difficulties, but also just seeing what's going on in the world and here right now. And it can get easy, you know, to lose hope and to want to kind of throw up your hands and stop and quit and stop fighting for what matters. And I think it's important to just not give up and keep going. And this doesn't even necessarily apply to bigger stuff, but even just your everyday life, you know. Take care of yourself, like be good to yourself. Just keep going, you know.
So for me, the one thing that keeps me like primarily sane is feeling organized. And I don't actually have to be organized, but I have to feel like I am. So lists are like, I don't know, the one thing that I can actually do. And also you have complete control over it, which is another thing that's really helpful right now. So much is up in the air, and so much like of the future we don't really know. Near future, all of it. So feeling like you have control, I think, in some part of your life is really helpful. So even if it's like the way that you do school, or like get your homework done, like coming up with a system that works for you and sticking to it so that you have reliability, but making sure that it's your system, so you're motivated to actually stick with it.
start a skincare routine. Watch a bunch of skincare by Hiram videos on YouTube, not sponsored, and get yourself a skincare routine. Because honestly, like, the first step to self-care is, like, taking care of yourself, obviously. But then if you, like, do a skincare routine every night, that's, like, A, it's a good routine. B, it's, like, a good nighttime routine so that you can, like, go to bed early. This is stuff my therapist used to tell me before we got in a fight and she kicked me out. And then, yeah, like, it's self-care. And then by doing these small things, you know, you can start to be like, wow, I care about myself and I, like, care about my skin and stuff.
A tour of something I enjoy doing? Well, I enjoy playing video games. Okay, that's the end of the tour.
Organize your phone. I was in the car for a few hours over the weekend because I had to do this thing. Anyway, I wasn't driving, but I organized my phone. And now it's got, like, my calendar at the top of my screen so that I can see what I need to do that day, and, like, my notes section. I had so many random notes, like half shopping list, random quotes, like, not in my quotes folder. Anyway, my phone was a mess. But just, like, that, having that organized, like, cleared my headspace, I guess. But it's also organized to help me be productive. So, like, my calendar is there right when I open my phone. I know what I need to do that day. Yeah, stuff like that. Just, and exercise. That sounds like such a cliche, but it really does help, like, balance chemicals in your body. So even if that's, like, doing sit-ups, don't do that. Or, like, going for a run, jumping jacks when you're, like, feeling out of focus. That's a phrase. Just do something. Get outside. Ground your aura and all that crap. But exercise really does, I don't know, it helps.
I think it's really important, first of all, to make sure that you keep up with the concrete things. And by that, I mean it's really important to be able to get dressed in the morning and take regular showers and feed yourself. And that's honestly, as difficult as that can be sometimes, those are the concrete things that are going to be the basis of, if I can keep my actual body healthy, then it's easier to keep your mind healthy. That's what I've learned throughout all of this that I've dealt with, and I've dealt with this before, and I know that the most important thing is to keep your physical self healthy in order to keep this part okay too.
Have you tried cleaning? I think you should clean the things around your house more often. Like, we have this lamp above my stove that gets covered with all of the grease and, like, oven fumes. But I washed it the other day, and it looks great. I feel great about it. So, I don't know, if you need something to do, or you just feel like everything's a little worthless, go and clean something you've never cleaned before, like the floorboards or the little tiny corner in the bathroom you just kind of keep ignoring. Just go clean it and see what happens.
Something I think people need to hear once in a while is that your friends will always be there for you. Don't be afraid to go to them for help. Because that's what friends are for, to help each other out.
On top of that, I think it's really important to know that there are people who you can ask for help, whether that be really immediate, like emergency help, or otherwise just somebody to talk to. There are always people out there who you can do that with. And there are people who are willing to listen to you and not tell you that you just need to get over it, because you can't just get over it.
One thing I've been doing, and it's really weird, but it's kind of been helping, is whenever I'm texting, instead of just texting, I'll use the, like, voice to text. I got some issues with that, believe me. But it's kind of nice because you can just kind of say out loud how you're feeling instead of texting it, which helps. So yeah, just keep in contact with people who matter to you, and they're probably having a rough time too, so just check in with each other, you know?
Get a lot of sleep. Okay. I'm gonna tell you this. school's important and Zoom calls are important and stuff like that, but your mental health is more important, and so is your sleep. So if you need to sleep, you need to sleep. Okay, wait, can I say bad words?
No.
Okay, if you need to sleep, you need to really get your sleep. And it's gonna make your whole day better. So yeah, and focus on the things that make you happy, like I don't know, sitting in your room, doing nothing. No, that's not good advice. Focus on the things that make you happy, and don't focus on the stuff that don't make you happy, and then you'll be happy.
This is my climbing wall. Yeah, when I have time during like passing period, this is what I do. So the first thing you want to do is put on your climbing shoes. Step number dos. There's a dog like climbing the fence. It's fine. You gotta chalk up. Most important part of climbing. Doesn't really matter if you suck at climbing. If you can chalk up, you're already like part of the club, you know? So you wanna fully get white powder on your hands. Just fully chalk up, you know? And then do that, and then you climb the wall.
So let's get started on this. Class of 2021, keep going. So the definition of the word perseverance is continued effort to do or achieve something despite difficulties, failure, or opposition. You could throw in there pandemic also. It's the action or condition or an instance of persevering, steadfastness. So just to acknowledge that this year and for seniors last year too, for the class of 2020, this is hard, but it's not something you can't do. And we are your biggest fans in this mess. So we as your entire staff, teachers, support staff, administration, everybody here at school, we are your biggest fans, and we are here to help you get through this.
There are stressors that you need to be dealing with. There are reasons that you as a person are hurting. If you don't acknowledge these things, they're never going to get better. The first step to making real change in your mental health, or even helping somebody else with their own problems, is acknowledging that there's a problem. Because it's really the same as a physical illness, right? That if you don't know what is wrong, you can't treat it. Same thing with stuff that goes on in your head. If you don't realize, if you don't recognize and acknowledge that there is a problem, you're not going to be able to fix it.
And I think the big thing too is just that this has lasted so much longer than we originally thought it would. And that was for a variety of reasons. And I guess that's the thing, it's just kind of, like missing hanging out with friends and people I'm close to. But I'm hopeful, I guess, in some ways. I think there are a few things in line for the future that make things a little bit more positive. And hopefully pretty soon we can kind of get this all over with. So, yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling.
My mental health rules. I'm jacked on mental health. I'm lousy in it. I get a therapist and they say, "You're fine, you're better than me."
Okay, I know you're filming, but before I got kicked out of therapy, my therapist confirmed that therapists have therapists because she said that her therapist talks about her therapist.
Is this like an Ouroboros situation where the snake eats its own tail? The therapist therapizes their own therapist?
And then she told me that she's pretty sure she's the therapist for her therapist's therapist.
It really is like a loop. It
like I'm not even joking.